Hi, folks. This is a chapter overview specifically for Chapter 21, Section 9. Today, we're going to be recapping the ethical use and citing of sources information within this chapter. So, reference pages and works cited pages are a necessity in research projects and papers. They are a requirement for 161 and 162. All of the papers that you turn in for either one of these courses, you must have a works cited page at the end of each one, and each one should contain the properly MLA formatted references for all of the resources that you use in that work. So, academic research leads us to the insight that comes from gaining perspectives and understandings from other people through what we read, watch, and hear. In academic work, we have to tell our readers who and what led us to our conclusions. That is why documenting research is so important, because there are other people that rely on academic research to be authoritative and represent academic integrity. And we've talked about academic integrity very briefly in the past. Today, we get to take a deeper look at that. So, what is academic integrity? It means to take full responsibility for your work, acknowledging your own efforts as well as those of others. Writing with integrity requires accurately representing your contributions as well as how other people have influenced your work. We have to keep in mind that when we practice academic integrity, we do not fall into academic misconduct. And this is when we do not use integrity in our work. So, academic misconduct could include many different unacceptable behaviors, but the one that is most relevant to what we are discussing here is submitting plagiarized work. And plagiarism is the representation of another person's work or ideas as one's own. So, this includes the unacknowledged word for word use and or paraphrasing of another person's work. This is why when we talked about paraphrasing, I believe it was in the was it chapter 8 or 5 or 8, one of those two. When we talked about paraphrasing, we said that we have to cite our resource whenever we paraphrase, whenever we summarize, excuse me, whenever we quote. This also includes the inappropriate, unacknowledged use of another person's ideas. So anytime that you share work, that you copy somebody else's work, whether that's a peer or other academic work, scholarly work, it is plagiarism. Shared work will share zeros, just as a heads up. We have to make sure that we cite all of our resources, and citing is a practice of documenting specific influences on your academic work. Cite all sources quoted directly, paraphrased, or summarized. I've already said this multiple times. The only thing that you do not have to cite is when you're giving us your own analysis, your own insight, as well as common knowledge. You do not need to cite common knowledge. What about Wikipedia? Wikipedia is a great shortcut for getting context, background, and a quick lesson on topics that might not be familiar to you. However, we never quote, paraphrase, or summarize from Wikipedia, as it is not an adequate resource that you can use in scholarly work. It's a great place to start the research process, but your research should not be limited to the Wikipedia page itself. You can seek out the resources that are listed in the notes section at the very bottom of a Wikipedia page and begin your research using those resources. If you have any questions on Wikipedia, on citations, on academic integrity, academic misconduct, please do let me know. Before I exit this video, I do want to show you really quick that your weekly reading, as well as the syllabus, asked you guys to check out the LibGuide for MLA 9th edition. You don't have to get the book, but if you take a look at these resources here on the side, it can talk to you about how you can do in-text citations, what your works cited page citations should look like. These are some common citation examples. Say we're dealing with a journal article in a database, which for all of our readings, in this course, they're going to be coming from some kind of database. This is a citation, the works cited page entry that you want to aim for. If you're using EBSCO host, The database itself also provides citations. If you need any help on getting to that, I can show you how to get to that. Whenever you are, for example, say you want to cite a chapter in a book or novel written by one author, like say we're working with Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried, you would cite it this way. If you were citing the entire book, then you would cite it this way, print book. In text citations, if we click on this guy, basic information, author's last name, page number. Don't use a comma. Don't use any abbreviations for the word page. If you would rather watch a video on in-text citations, they've provided that with you. So these LibGuides give us a lot of information on how to make sure that we're following through on that MLA style. Here is one on avoiding plagiarism. I would recommend that you take a look at it, and it also provides you with the LCCC Student Code of Conduct, which addresses academic misconduct. So you'll notice that it includes cheating, as in copying from another student's material, knowingly obtaining, copying, using, buying, selling, and so on and so forth, any kind of assessment or assignment without prior authorization, bribing people, buying or selling unauthorized information about an assignment, using electronic devices during the administration of a quiz or exam, collaborating with each other on an assignment or an exam that is intended to be completed solo. So in our course, most of our work is going to be solo work. And there's also a section on plagiarism. So definitely make sure that you go through these. If you have any questions on any of these aspects, do let me know. Otherwise, you are ready to move on forward.